This is just AMZN on Thursday, December 6th, 2018. Pre-market today was a gap down from where we ended up on Tuesday after hours here. Recall that yesterday the market was closed, Wednesday, and came all the way down to a price area I was talking about, the low 1600s, where we've got a couple of lines here. Actually, it was between these lines for a little bit, rallied, went sideways with a little bit of a triangle here, and then sold back off right before open, almost back down to the same level. So that's where we find, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's try that again. I was trying to just zoom in on this. There we go. Okay, so we're right here, right before open, and we've gapped down again, or we've moved down a lot further again from where we had traded down on Tuesday. And this is just a bearish retest gap. So it's done a little bit of retesting here and it's sold off again. And so there's still people here selling. And it just doesn't seem like the right place to be selling. I've been talking about buying in the low 1600s. All the people who were in from Tuesday who are bearish are profitable way down here all of a sudden, not overnight, but over 2 nights. But as the market opens, it starts to rally. It just makes sense down here, this far down, in an area where we've got a couple of lines as potential support or at least pivots, that it's going to pivot here again. So very quickly rallies. It's still below the pre-market high, and excuse me. But there were opportunities to get in at the open, going bullish. There are opportunities if you were bearish to get out right here. And it's a really strong open. Takes out this entire group of selling candles. Initially, there was a little bit more selling. And when I saw that, I had hoped it was actually going to come down to 1607 and bounce. That would have been tremendous had it done that. The low here was 1609.85. The low pre-market earlier was 1608.91. So not very far off from that, but this whole area is a great place for it to bounce. And it starts to do that. So the other line we have in here is 1617.54, and looking for opportunities for getting in here, getting above the pre-market 5-minute candles, or any sort of pullback to this level be a great place to buy. So the next candle, a lot more buyers are coming in. Now we've moved 40 some points in 10 minutes. So massive rally to start the day. This is likely a lot of the bears who are short getting out of their positions, and a lot of bulls who are long and just looking for a place to buy are getting in. And so there's so much buying going on, very easily clearing the pre-market high. And we're already approaching 1665, which has been a great level that we've had on the chart for a while now. So we'll see if we can get there on the next candle, right? No, it pulls back a little bit. Inside candle, an actual hammer candle, nice lower wick, shows that there's some selling coming in, but there's some buying back up. This is the candle where people are buying that were buying too late. This is way too late to be buying right here because you could have been buying down here or down in here or right here off this line, or after this candle, it pulled back a little bit. That would have been a nice place to buy. Right at 1625, I like getting into the strikes that are the 25, 50, 75, and zeros, or hundreds. And you can do that for the shares too. I mean, you can just be buying off of one of those levels, but buying here, it's already had a 40-point move. And even this pullback, where's your stop going to go? You're going to put your stop down here and buy up here? You're not even a 1-to-1 to get up to 1665. And that's clearly the next pivot. So my guess is these people that are buying this lower wick are the people who are going to probably be stopped out pretty soon. And it pulls back again. So people were getting in here and other people were going bearish there. It moves back again very quickly. It's almost as quickly as it moved up. It moves right back down and comes down to 16.18. The line we've got in here is 16.1754, 46 cents away. So if you zoom out, so we're zoomed in, we're seeing around $90, almost $100 in this range here on the chart, just with the auto fill the screen, whatever it's called, fit, whatever it is that fits the screen. Anyway, if you zoom out and look at this on a daily, you can't tell that it doesn't touch right there. This is the area to be buying off of. And with the options, it's even easier to buy on a pullback like this than it is to set a price on the shares and expect it to be filled. The options move a little bit, they got a little wider spread. So, the price doesn't actually have to print, on the 16.1754 for it to fill if it's options, because of how spready it can be and when the market maker does it. But anyway, I obviously don't know exactly all the Greeks behind how the options move. All I know is that the options today had a lot of additional premium that had to be, ripped out of them because the market was closed on Wednesday and then a massive gap down. All the prices are overinflated. So we're back down here. This is a great place to be buying. This is the place to buy that I was just talking about. It, breaking out above these two candles. And I don't want to minimize that there's two candles selling off right before it opens, because that's what people thought it was going to do, is sell off again. They're trapped. They were immediately trapped. And now there's another opportunity to get in bullish right above these candles. Get in. Go bullish right here. And that's what happens. It starts to bounce and has an indecision candle. And now we got a little slower pace to go back up. Now we actually moved a little more bullish. Now, if we get another big sell-off candle like this one, that would be bookends basically to rest after battle. And it could actually go down lower. So I'm not ruling out that possibility. But right now, if I'm in options and I got in right here and it's right here, I'm good if it sells off and I lose on the trade. I mean, look at what just happened if it stops right here. But remember where we're at. We're back above pre-market high. We've just made a very large S curve, and we're just getting going. It does pull back. Pulls back right into this pivot point from this triangle. Pulls back into the middle of the indecision candle here. Let's see what happens. Oh, another sideways candle. 15 minutes of sideways. Really large opening candles today. This whole thing. We had this one that was $20. This was 30. This one was 13, 14. This one was 22, under 12, 13, 17, 12, almost 12. So 11 or 12 was like the smallest candles that we had. And I mean, it's really these four candles are indecision, bullish breakout, bearish retest, indecision. It's a little bit more of a inverted hammer, or it's not dragonfly doji, whatever the one that's got the tail above, the wick above. I don't remember the name of it. But then we get a bullish engulfing candle here. So now we're at 25 minutes of sideways. We're just starting to inch above this resistance right here. It held here. So you can set your trigger to get in above this and a stop down here. That'd be 1-to-1 at least. This breakout is better than trading, getting in right here, looking for it to continue. It's actually paused for a while, consolidated, but you're getting in at this price. Ideally, you wait for a close on the 5-minute above. Had you gotten in here, you might be in early, or might get a false entry here. So now, if you're still waiting for that close, you just get in on a move above 1643. What's the high here? 1642, 44. So maybe 1644, just to be a little bit of a round number. 1644 by 1624, that would give you 1-to-1 up to 1665. So that's a nice setup. And then if it continues on higher, great. If we can get some smaller candles in here, that's even better. It does move above. So you're probably into that one. That's if you waited to get in way up here. I was looking to get in down here. Moves up, indecision again. It's just creeping higher. Another indecision. There we go. Here's another breakout. Now this is a nice one to have a trade set up. Get in above, a stop right here. That's the last place we had some bearishness come in. That would be a 2-to-1 up here about. So right now we're about here, right at the resistance we had from earlier. We could continue, we could sell off again, but right now we're at a good pivot on the daily. People could have been getting in here, and that's why this is a much stronger candle of just buying. Let's see, we're our open and our low are pretty close, our high and our close are pretty close. So not quite a Marbozu, but we're close. Here's a pullback. It's a bearish engulfing. There's newbies getting in right here. See how this high is slightly above this high? There were people waiting for this confirmation that it's above to get in. And again, where's the stop if you're waiting for this entry? Your stop's got to be way down here. That was that last pullback. Rather than here by here or here by here. So bearish engulfing. If you were just getting in on this breakout, it could pull back a little bit more. Don't move your stop yet. Too early to move your stop. A very small candle and a hammer. Here we go. Here's a pullback. Some people got stopped out. Some people may still be in if their stop's down here, but they're about to get stopped out. This is a hammer that looked like it should bounce. A little bit more of a pullback. We're right back into some of this area that was resistance, and we're almost back to the pre-market high right in here. This is another good place for it to bounce. And possibly stop somebody out. Oh, that's really close. Maybe not. I love these small candles. These are great. They make amazing risk to reward. And it's a bullish engulfing high wave candle, lower volume, squeeze starting to form. This one could have stopped some people out if they were in there. Just slightly sloping down. Each one of these is slightly lower low that could have been stopping anybody out here. And if you're in and your stop is down here, or if you've moved it up to here, you're starting to worry a little bit. Am I going to lose in this trade? Should I lock in some more? What's going to happen? Slightly lower low again, slightly lower low again. It's just kind of like slowly, it was slowly creeping up. Now it's slowly selling off. And you're starting to wonder, okay, what's really happening in the market? Is this going to be a bigger double top? You start to worry, and you got to take a step back and remember, this is so bullish coming up. These are some higher lows. This is a relative high. This should continue up. This should move back and bounce. It's just a matter of where's it going to. And if you're not in, it's a great opportunity to look for, okay, where are people putting their stops? There's definitely somebody with a stop right here. They got stopped out. There's definitely people with a stop right here who are thinking, am I just waiting to get stopped out? Should I just get out now? That may have been some of these people, pulls back a little bit more, and then it starts to bounce. So right when it starts to creep really close to this, these lows, you get another high wave candle. All of these are lower lows. So, really from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 45 minutes of making, well, I guess that one doesn't count as a lower low. So 8, so 40 minutes of lower lows. And not necessarily lower highs, but lower lows, 40 minutes of this kind of a pullback. Now, my eyes are kind of seeing this and seeing this kind of pattern emerge. Let me see if I can draw it. Oops. Oh, I still have the drawing tool. Nope. Come on. Okay. I'm kind of seeing that. And that's a wedge, and it's narrowing. So I've got it drawn a little bit high on top, and I can see if I can pull this down a little bit. So, but something like this, it's squeezing a little bit. It's pulling back. It's squeezing on the chart for the 5-minute candles. It's got a squeeze going down here with the TTM squeeze, and it's building momentum. Well, that momentum just broke out here with a nice Morningstar reversal. You actually get above all of these highs that were right here with this candle here. This is a nice candle to get in on. Get in right now. Right now, bullish on this candle. You could have gotten in on a break above this high right here. Your stop's either right here, or if you want to be ultra conservative, get your stop way back down here. And I'll show you the options, what's going on with this. But one of the options we'll look at, the price right here, I think was about the same as the price right here. I saw this form pull down right here. I'm like, get in now, get in now. And I couldn't do it today. Fortunately, I saw it setting up and I couldn't do it. I wasn't watching it. I just glanced at the chart. It's like, oh, that's a great place to buy because I knew that was right off my line. And then it moved right back up to resistance. And then it came back down to this. I think it was the same option price here. I looked at it later. It's like, oh, another opportunity to get in for the same price. And what happens? It starts to move up. From this candle, which triggered itself in on a Morningstar reversal and taken out the high of this candle. Now this was almost a shaved, no, open and higher the same. This is a shaved top. This whole candle means selling. This one's indecision. This candle is actually triggering above the shaved candle. You got a very nice bullish retest gap here on the 5-minute. It actually gapped up slightly. And it does gap. I mean, from this close to this open, a gap. From this close to this open, a gap. It happens. It's just nice to see that on such a strong candle here. Strong bullish candle into a gap. You know, it means that there's extra people buying and the market makers are moving it up a little bit, moving it up. Moves sideways a little bit, some consolidation right here, and just drifts higher. So now we've got from this low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles in a row moving up. We're right into the same resistance. Even more people are buying, and now it's back down here. Are we going to sell off again? Did something change? Did something shift? And I would say, yeah. We've got these higher lows. So this low, higher low, higher low. We have this wedge. We have more bullish candles in a row than we've had yet. So we should get a bearish candle soon. Doesn't have to happen next, but we should have one soon. We're right at resistance, so it makes sense to have it next. But it really gave us a really nice risk reward with these small candles here and this kind of a move. Some people who got in with a break above this candle are really close to 2 are already right here and maybe are already getting out. The other thing is our squeeze is now fired. We continue on up. When that squeeze fires, that momentum is built up, it can continue. So we're going to count 8 to 10 bars and see how far that gets us on this squeeze. Moves up, indecision, sideways, slight pullback. Look where this pulls back to. Look at that low. The low there is 1653.45. Exact penny doesn't matter. It's pulled right back into this pivot and this pivot, same level. Didn't break any of these bullish candles. We've moved on up. If somebody was in on this and just moving up, trailing the bullish candles, you could have your stop sitting right here at 1650. And if you got trailed out, you're profitable. I mean, it could happen. If we bounce here, it's a great place to bounce because that was our pivot. We broke through it. We looked like we were pausing here, even though it's not a bearish candle. We didn't reverse. It paused here, through an upper wick, showing there's some selling coming in. People thought it was going to sell off again. It didn't. It broke out. Now it's retested. It's retested that old resistance as new support. That's what this candle means. And this candle you could trade by itself. Get in above it, stop below it, look for a 1-to-1 target, and you're done. I mean, that could be your trade setup. We're at 5 bars. Sorry, 5 candles after the squeeze. I think it's going to move up some more. And it immediately does. I think we've got a shaved bottom on this candle. The open and the low are both 1658.64. Very nice move right on up through 1665. Now again, 1665 has been a really nice level. We've had it on the chart for a while. It was a resistance on Tuesday, a support on Tuesday that we're clearly below now at the open today, and now we just broke through it. I expect it to pull back to this level. I don't know if it's going to come back any further to retest this again, but if we can stay above it for a few more candles and then retest into it, that's a great place to buy again. Not just this one, but right here. There's a really strong bullish move today already, and we're not done yet. We're 6 bars in. Next candle moves up some more. This is high and the close are 8 cents away, not quite a shaved top. Nice strong candle. The candle most likely, well, yeah, it must have. Without looking at the 1 minute or the ticks or whatever, it opened pretty flat, sold back off. Here's your first retest of 1665 and rallied from there. More people buying. You got an increase in volume over the last couple of candles. This one's pretty even, a little low, I guess. And the squeeze is now 7 bars in. Here we are, 8 bars in. We're at 1680. Had you been getting in on the Morningstar reversal and held through all this and just let it run, you're definitely profitable. And I mean, hopefully you've taken some profit, or you've got a really good plan to hold even longer. And in this case, I think I probably would have taken some profit at 1665, because just to lock something in there, that's a great level, and then reload as it comes back to it, or get out of all of it and reload on some when it comes back into it. We are 8 bars in. Now we've got a high wave candle up here. This is our first signal that something could change. We had some high wave candles down here. We don't have any other line up here. If we take a look back at Tuesday, I think there was some resistance coming in, or some support. There was some pivot going in right here. I don't remember what it was exactly. I think pretty close to this level. And then we are 9 bars in here. Okay, high wave candle. Now we get a little bit of a bearish candle. This starts to look like an evening star reversal. And nope, not yet. We've got inside candle, inside bullish candle, a little bit of a just a sideways flag here, and we actually move up a little bit. So we are now 12 bars in. So we're past however many bar, it was 8 to 10. We're past the expected squeeze number of bars to go on up. Candles, I keep saying bars, but candles. Now we're at 14, and the 14th one, now we lose a little bit of bullish momentum. So we made a touch up here to 1690, and we'll come back to that price in a little bit, talking about it. But this is a good place for it to start to pull back a little bit, especially the momentum, the move we've had. This is a bigger move than we've had any other time of the day. And you can really start to see this as higher lows, flat top, retest. What's it going to do? How far is it going to pull back? Again, I think it's going to pull back close to 1665, not way back down to this breakout point here around 1653. Next candle, pull back a little bit more, pull back some more. Inside candle. These look like tweezers. High of these two are 18 cents apart, so that's pretty close. And we get a pullback here. Our line is 1665.27. We get a pullback. The low here is 1665.59. Really, really close. Again, this area is where to be setting up a buy. This is where I want it to bounce. It bounced quickly here. This is a quick retest. Here's your long retest or slower retest. If you wanted to get in at 1665 and you missed the opportunity right here, just wait. You know that's a great level. You had to wait from 11:20 to 12:20, a whole hour. If you can't do it, step away from the computer and have your trade still set up and come back in 2 hours then, or just have it set up and trust the analysis. It starts to bounce. Oh no, it pulls back a little bit. Where's your stop going to be? Is it going to be too tight? Are you buying right here? Great place to put the stop is below that pivot, that last pivot down here a little bit more. See what happens. Okay, we ducked down a little bit underneath it. Still held this pivot. Starts to bounce. Hopefully your stop was wide enough that it did. I just love seeing that price come right in there. Just be careful that you've got it set up, knowing your risk, because you don't know that it's going to bounce exactly level. I would have loved to see that candle bounce right here. Obviously, it doesn't have to. It doesn't do what I want. Market's going to do what it wants. So nice, another Morningstar reversal here. Almost comes down to the same pivot. Now we're rallying. We're on our way back up. Got another problem though. We've got a lot of bullish candles in a row. Don't have much squeeze. Pretty steady momentum. This is just retracing back up to here. From here, I've got, again, higher lows. Right now, a lower high. What if I do this similar pattern again? Triangle here. Flat top, higher lows. Flat top, higher lows. Let's see if we can draw something in. Let's see if I can draw this. This, and then draw. It's deeper than I thought it was going to be. I haven't drawn this yet today, so I don't know what it's going to do. But I want to just have hoping to touch these lows. I guess that's close enough. Let's just do that for now, and we'll move it sideways or move it to the right a little bit more. You know what? Extend to the right. Let's see what happens here. So kind of the range of that candle, but more so grabbing the low here, touching the low here, touching the low here, even though we're kind of into this candle a little bit more. So we may need to adjust that. I can't really adjust the steepness. Oh, there we go. It's a little bit better. Okay. Let's see how that does. All right. So moving on a sideways, come right back up into 1690. All right. What do we do? Sell back down. Start to bounce a little bit. We're above this line. Haven't touched that line. It's okay. Nice consolidation. There we go. Came right back down into 1665. This time 1665.19. We are 8 cents into this line. It's a little bit better than that one. Now, if you're buying here again, I mean, maybe you bought here and that worked for 2R up to this level. And then maybe you bought here and you got your stop maybe below this one or maybe below this one again. Because if it worked once, trade it again. Flat top, higher lows. Instead of 2 touches here, we got 3 touches here. I guess I can extend it to this, but I just don't like that I'm cutting into the body of this one as much. So, but anyway, you can count this as 1, 2, 3 touches on the low, and then 1, 2, 3 touches on the high. And I could draw this after I have these two. So if I missed all of it, so let's say I missed buying here, and I missed buying here, and I missed buying here, and I want to buy here. Okay, here's a framework to buy there. You've got a little bit of lower highs and higher lows going on, and a little bit of a flat high right here. So I want to see it. If I bought here, I want to see this move up to 1690, and after 3 touches, I want to see it break out and come back down and then continue up. Same thing. See if it happens again. Starts to bounce, comes right into 1690 again. It doesn't quite get all the way there. Okay, it's only in the 1689 area. Comes back a little bit. We're still not back down to this line. We don't have another touch. Sideways. You got to squeeze for me again. What happened the last time we formed a squeeze? And we had some smaller candles. Squeeze forming. These pulled back. Squeeze forming. Now they're going sideways. They're not pulling back. Not quite getting into this line yet. If we touch this line again, it could totally bounce again. Could happen. No, we got to squeeze. What is going to happen? Bullshit. No, not a bullshit one. Here's your breakout. Either this candle above that high you're in, or this candle above this high with a nice tight stop right in here. Or if you were in down here, you're probably already at 2R, maybe R1/2, maybe R. Here's your breakout. Does this breakout look similar to this one? This one here? Kind of does. Gets above these highs, gets above this high. Let's see if we retest in a few candles here and hold this high. Again, we'll come back to the 1690 price soon enough. Broke out, A couple sideways pullback candles, sideways pullback candles. This one's got a little lower wick, similar to this one. It's kind of like you combined these 3 candles and made it into 2 candles. Looks very similar. Let's see, the high here, they're both highs at 16.95. So nice tweezer high, but I wouldn't be shorting it. Not up here, not when it's breaking out again, and it's been such a strong bullish move. The other thing I can do with this is, oh, not that one. Can you connect anything else? No, it doesn't really work. Well, that works better. If you touch the low, no, I wouldn't have told you to buy. All right, we'll leave it there. I like it. I like that assessment better than connecting these and trying to forecast where it's going to bounce. So anyway, another hammer. Let's see what happens. Oh, by the way, it's squeeze fired. Moves up, pulls back a little bit. So this is a little bit different. We had a little more bullishness as it broke out. This one's kind of just chugging along. Moves up. That's the end of the day. So not a lot of time left on this one. Maybe this is one that you weren't trading as aggressively, this breakout, or this, getting in a pullback here, because it's right towards the end of the day. It had its move already today. But it's just kind of cool to see how this is very fractal in how it moves. I want to try and draw a circle. Oops, keep doing that. Okay, well, that's cool. All right, let me see what I can do with this. I haven't drawn a circle in a while. Can I duplicate it? Nice. Okay. That kind of looks similar. Pull back, bounce, pull back, bounce, pull back, bounce, pull back, bounce. Yeah, kind of like that. This one was much more aggressive and fast, much bigger candles. This one is definitely slower. But just the way I drew this, there's a line down here, support, a line down here, support. Oh, no, I broke that one. Maybe the line is going to be down here. Yeah, if I hold my cursor there, that's a similar line to this line here. Similar location in the oval here. So there's a lot of different ways to draw this stuff. So if you don't like the way I've got lines going straight across in here and so many lines, try your own, draw some circles. Because you might see something in a different way, and it's okay to set up your own trade that way. So come back to 1690, and then we'll look at some of the options. So 1690, we were coming into 1690 back here. This was last Thursday, so a week ago. I keep forgetting to not scroll. This whole range, like this day, 1690, this was kind of in around 1690, and then we really started to consolidate right on that price, and then the next day we just shot up. And then I think, let's see, were we doing 1690 back here? That's 16. What's my high? No, not quite 1690 there. Not quite there. All right. The other cool thing about 1690, it's easier to see in here, is it looks about halfway. If you're looking, I can't zoom in so far. I can zoom in like this. All right. Let me do it this way. I should be able to do this. No, I can't shift it. Okay. This, and I don't remember. No. Sorry, I'm trying to move it. Can I move it like this? Yes. Okay. That's what I want to do. I'm going to do it like this. Okay. This level, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and almost 5 boxes. I'm just looking at the boxes. You can actually do the math, and I did the math. And the average of the line right here, 1665.27, and this line right here at 1714.50. You add those two numbers together and divide by 2. The average of these two lines is right about 1690. And that's where it came into, right in the middle. Right in the middle. Nice place in no man's land to have a midpoint. And that's our resistance. That's our pivot today. So take a look at a couple of options. So let's look at some calls first. The calls in here. This is the 1700 call. It had a low down in here. The open price was right at 2. Sold off. Immediately rallied. Pulled back. Where to pull back to? 3. Where these pull back to? About 280. And then again 288. So you could have been setting up a trade, getting in at 3, or seeing a pullback there, seeing that as a nice support that came in, played out here, get in at 3. 2, our target is 5. 3 by 2, sorry. 2, our target is 5, maybe 6. Do it again here. Buy at 3, stop at 2, target at 6 again, came into 6, and retested, almost came back into 6. So you got out at 6, you missed a lot of this. But you could have set up a trade to get in at 6 again. Didn't fill here. Leave it open for an hour. A little more than an hour. Would have been really close to filling here. I don't know if it would have filled here. I wanted to say, hey, this option came back to the same price. Don't know if it would have filled. But you still had a really nice hammer candle right here. And could have been getting in like 7 by 6 here. Or maybe you missed this one. And you wanted to get into this, and you're watching for it to pull back to this level, and it does, and you get in 7 by 6. So 7 was the price it ran up to here. So there's just a lot of opportunities today to get in on any of the 1700 call pullbacks, and with pretty decent range on those candles too. Just being patient, waiting for it to come into a small candle and a good support. That would have been this all day long. Had you bought here at 3 and just let it run with the squeeze that fired and just let it run, I mean, it made it up to almost 16. No, a little more than 16. The end of the day, it was 1590. So it got up to 16. Maybe you got out at 13. Get in at 3, get out at 13. 10R. That's it. If you take a look at another option, the 1650 is the one that I had glanced at when I saw, buy now, that I had that reaction. I saw this pullback. 1335 was the low here. Printed 1335 the next candle, and then it chopped around a little bit. And then you could have seen these lows at like 15 and set up like 15 by 14, which would have been, a little bit nerve-wracking because of the low here was closer to 13, or the $200 R done 15 by 13. Either way, that moved up. So let's say you did 15 by 14. That would have ran up to 25, which was kind of the previous pivot here. That would have been 10R. And then you could have done it again, getting in at 15 with a stop at 14. And that one ran up to 25 again. That's 10R here and 10R here. And this one just kept going with that squeeze that fired. So let's say you got this one and you got it for $100 risk. You got 10R. And then you had the same trade again, but you noticed that the squeeze was forming and it triggered, and you didn't want to get out here. You wanted to let it ride, and you were just trailing your stop up. So your stop here is maybe your stop here is at 19. And as it moves up, it pulls back to this, and then you move your stop up to 23. And then it does this, and then you move your stop up to 31. And then it pulls back, and you're like, okay, I don't want to lose this. I'm going to move my stop right below that. I'm going to put my stop at 35. And then it does this, and it comes up to 45 again, and then 45 again. Get out. If it gets above that one, it's almost at 45. From 15 to 45, you could have had that trade. It was a $30 move. That would have been 30R. So not just 10R, 30R. Buying the same price that you bought earlier and holding with a squeeze and letting it run. That's how to get to the bigger R returns. We're not done yet. This option would have been harder to get up here, much wider range, and you're already so far in the money with the 1650. This is when you switch back over to the 1700. So the 1700, this one works out. Whoa, sorry. There was a little delay for me and it just jumped. This is, and I turned this off before. I turn it off right here or no? There we go. I didn't realize I could just click on it like that. All right. This is the time where you're into this smaller price. We're not quite into, we're still out of the money with the 1700. Much easier to manage your range on your candles and your risk. So this is where you're looking to get in and get in later in the day. You know, you're waiting for these pullbacks. If you get in too early, like this one, you can be stopped out on this one. So you gotta wait for it to pull back into a line, into a level, and get in 7x6 on this one, just like you could have done 7x6 here, and it should have worked. Yeah, if you waited for this candle to form and then you got in 7x6, that worked. That was a nice trade. Now you're out at probably from 7 to like 10, maybe 12 or 13 on its way back up. Or maybe you waited till it got up to this on the stock because it didn't get there on the option and you're getting out. So that shows you the value that was lost on the option. It went up to 16 here and barely got to 15 here. So you lost a little bit of premium on the option over the course of this about an hour. It's Thursday. Options expiration is tomorrow. It's out of the money. It's going to lose some value. And coming off of the market being closed Wednesday. So I don't know how exactly the options were pricing this in. But anyway, the lower highs here, the higher lows here. If you bought here, get your target a little lower, probably another $1, maybe $2 lower at this buy. So you went from 7 to probably 13. I would probably draw that line. You want to get around 13. So that's still 6R. Trading something later in the day, and you made some bigger moves here. You're just picking up little scraps here. And there's nothing to really let ride on this one. We're still out of the money. It didn't have a huge move out of that second breakout of a triangle. This triangle break didn't have much left in the day for it to move much. So this is the one you're just getting out when it moves up. This is the one with the squeeze and a lot of time left on the day that you're holding on to. This is the one there's not a lot of time left on the day. You're not going to hold it overnight. Just get out when it looks strong. Get out on a candle that's got a Marbozu sort of look, or that it's got a shaved top, or get out on the very next candle, because if you wait, it might pull back more than you want it to, and then it turns a nice looking trade into a losing trade right into the end of the day. And then that's what you're thinking about. Oh, this one's a loser. I shouldn't have held it. And you take that mindset into the next day. Whereas if you end when it's so strong, like, hey, I exited that when it's positive. I was at the top of my game when I exited, that kind of thing. Thinking about in sports when people are making those milestones count, and they retire. So anyway, this squeeze fired without enough time left in the day. So getting out when it looks strong. You just don't have much time to wait for anything else to play out. There were some opportunities on the puts. At this level here, you would not necessarily have known to sell right here, but maybe you would have recognized, well, if it pivoted here, maybe it'll do it again here. It's selling this one, and then again this one. It's sold here, maybe it'll sell again here, maybe here. So let's look at this one and this one. This is the put at 9:45 and a put at 1 o'clock. Excuse me. So at 9:45, I guess which puts. So here's some puts. The 9:45 was this low right here, around $8. And the reason I'm showing Tuesday's prices and today's prices is the pivot here. Oh, I said 8. It comes down to a low of 732. The high on Tuesday was 735 and 735. Tweezer tops right here. We come down to 732 right here. Had you been buying as a pivot off of Tuesday's high, that would have been a great place to draw a line and get in at that level. Or give yourself a little bit of range. $100 R, 750 by 650, 8 by 7. Get this price included and just wait and see if it happens. It didn't quite get there here. It's the 1600 put. It's out of the money here. Well, sorry. It was almost in the money right here. And then it's very much out of the money. And this is your pivot. It's going to lose value because it's out of the money. It's going to lose $1, maybe $2. The low here was 865. Maybe I could set it up for 765. Because then if I did 865, this would have filled and then it would have been stopped out. This was not the pivot. This was 925. 925 was right here. That was not the pivot. This was the pivot price, not this price. So back to the option. I don't want to buy at the same price on an option that's out of the money, that's losing value. I want to set it lower, at least go $1 lower, maybe more. Just depends on how much time. In an hour, $1. Does that rhyme? Hour, dollar, hour, dollar. I don't know. It rhymed in my head when I said it the first time, but I don't think it actually rhymes. So let it pull back an hour. Let it pull back $1. So I said the wrong thing. It only took an hour today to do that. So this was 8:35. Here's about an hour later. It's 9:45. And you got a price. You can get in 765 by 665. And now you've used the price from the previous day that it couldn't quite get back to. This was when it was touching 1665. Didn't quite get it back up to 1665 here or here, but we've got the puts that the puts have lost some value, even though the stock is lower. That's what I'm trying to say. And then that rallies from there, but you just want to be careful. Again, you're buying 765. You want to see it move, but it starts to pause. Let's see, where did it pause? It made this move and then just kind of started to just kind of grind slowly. Doesn't even quite get into this level, but you're looking for people to have their stops in this level or this level for the bullish trade. So you want to say, okay, where's the 920 price? If my stop's here, maybe it won't go that far. It's the 920 price on the put. This is the 920 candle. It might not go this far, moving back down if it's just going to grind lower. So it did get to that price. That's $14. Maybe if I think it's not going to get there, it's going to get somewhere between this price and this price. I'm going to set it at like 13, right in the middle, or a little bit favoring the low side. Maybe I'm going to do 1265, so I get out, and that's 5R. So 765 to 1265, that's 5R. I gave up a little bit of the R's, but I'm going, I was going to say counter trend, but I'm going in the direction of the gap, but it's just really a strong rally from the open, and I'm down far enough in my buy zone. So I'm playing it counter trend. That's the issue. And I'm playing it into a squeeze that's forming, and it still looks stronger bullish than bearish, to me anyway. And you guys know how long I've been looking at this thing 5 minutes at a time, right? So after that, didn't really do too much with this put. The other price we were going to look at, the other time was 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock hits here. 1 o'clock, where'd it go? 1 o'clock is right here. That's got a low of 155. It made it back up to 315. Probably not the option I would have been trading. Probably would have been looking at 1665 if I wanted to do something, because we were at 1690 and then we pivoted. So 1 o'clock is right here. I've got a low of 770. This candle, I put a low of 847. So this was a little tougher because the range on this was a little more than $1. I would want to see a pullback to this range. I know I'm counter trend because it's been going bullish. So I'm going to look for a little bit more of a pullback from the option. So if I do, instead of 847, if I do 750, it doesn't quite get there. Came into 770. So in this case, it wouldn't have been filled. But had I done just 8 by 7, that would have worked. And that would have went up to 12 and then pull back and then went up to 14. So it didn't work as well at 1 o'clock, you know. I like this option because it's got smaller range on the 5-minute candles, but the actual prices that you would have been getting in at were just hard to come by, you know. So I don't know if you would have done anything with this one on the puts, but as you can see, all day today, this put has just been losing value all day. The only time it came back up and touched this high, almost got there here, didn't quite here, touched it here. I mean, all day just going down. And then on the low side, you know, a little bit, I guess a little bit of a wedge shape. I don't know. I'm seeing a little more of a double top on the, with a neckline in here. So seeing a little bit more of a double top like this. Here's your retest, secondary retest. And if we look back over here, yeah, I can see that. Here's your double bottom, retest, retest, you know. So, you know, invert it and then kind of play out, you know, instead of the triangle look, it's got the double bottom look. You can see that too. So take a look at the daily. Just look at this. That was a nice place to bounce today. This range, these two candles came in from back here. I did not remember that. Okay. The fact that this candle was drawn in on that pivot, that's a great place to pull back to. That has me thinking this is a little stronger of a bounce, and this could be our rally from here. That's possible, totally possible. We may not come back into the 1500s or 1400s again. If this holds, this should be our point that we're going to continue on up. We shouldn't see this price again if this holds. I know it sounds silly, or sounds obvious. You know, if we stay above here, we're going to stay above here. But I'm saying it, we need to stay above this price to continue a rally. If we pull down again and start to look like an inverted head and shoulders, I think that's going to show a little more weakness in what's supposed to happen in the right shoulder. Some people are going to get in, but I think we may be capping our range back up to the all-time high as kind of the measured move for an inverted head and shoulders. And we would just have more time of just going sideways. But I think if we can hold from here and we have a much more lopsided inverted head and shoulders, and the right shoulder is either kind of slumped, like we stay in a range here and don't get as low as this, or if we race up from here and just take off, that bodes so well for this being such a strong, such a small bearish pullback and such a strong bullish move that it could catapult things to another year of some bullish moves. This is a really key level to have bounced off of today, to gap down directly into and then to bounce off of today. I really like this location. So we'll see what tomorrow holds. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is much longer than I usually do. But today's candles just, to me, the 5-minute just played out so well today that when I said in my head, and I didn't trade this. When I said in my head, buy here, I was kind of frustrated with myself later on that I didn't, because it was such an obvious place to buy and worked so well. And I just had that gut feel. And that came from me doing this video and studying this that it just made sense to do that. And so translating that into a plan and communicating that to these videos has been just such a strong thing for me to do, that I hope it's helping you learn this. And I hope you got to the end of this video to hear me say it. So there's more to come. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.